So the news of this week is everything going on in Afghanistan. From my understanding, the Taliban are taking over the country because Joe Biden is withdrawing the American soldiers there. I read that it's because he didn't believe that the military had a strategy to win there all the way back in 2009 when he was vice president. There have been many videos coming out of there of people chasing planes to try to get out of the country. You see people crammed into planes and, I was looking at the pictures and it just gave me a little perspective. I'm sitting here in comfort in my own home. There's a roof over my head. There's food in the fridge. There's water on demand whenever I want it. I can play video games whenever I want to. I have very little worries. I always try to be thankful for things that I have, from day to day, but seeing the turmoil in the world from these past couple of days has really kind of turned it up to 11 for me. See, when I was a kid, my mom and dad got divorced, and I remember asking my mom why my dad didn't live with us, and she said something like they got separated and stuff like that, and I remember always being envious of seeing other kids with their dads. When you see your friends at the mall or at the park or wherever it was, it seemed like everybody had a dad and I didn't have one. And this went on for years until one day I just woke up and I didn't care for my dad anymore, as bad as that is to say. I don't know why the switch got, flipped like that. It's something I can't explain, and I don't have a reason as to why it turned out like that. That's just the way it is. Anyway, I remember being in school, and when it's getting to the end of the year and you feel like summer is getting closer and closer and everybody's talking about what they're gonna do in the summer. Yeah, well, that didn't happen to me because people kept asking what I was gonna do after school. Some kids went to post-secondary, some kids went to work, some kids did other stuff, and I didn't know what I was gonna do. I never thought about school, I never thought about the future. I was too busy playing video games to worry about school. Side note, I think that's one thing that I would change about my time at school. I spent so much time saying how it was a waste of time instead of just spending time on something that was beneficial for me or that was gonna be beneficial for me. Something else I would do is I would actually spend more time choosing a career path or trying to pursue something instead of, like I said, playing video games all the time. Anyway, I remember asking my mom what plans she had for me to go to post-secondary, and she said I would have to take out student loans to go to school because she had no money saved for me. She started this little education fund for me with my dad, but when he left, obviously my mom was a single mom with a young child and money was tight, so she stopped contributing to it. And I don't fault her for that now, but at the time, I remember being a bit rustled, or my feathers were kind of rustled that I would have to pay for school and other kids wouldn't have to. It was actually a very toxic trait when I look back on it. But like I say in every video, I'm just gonna lay everything out there, no holding back. So, I would see other kids go off to school and they would pursue their engineering degrees, and I was left at home, still in the same place, doing the same things because I didn't know what to do. It wasn't until a couple years ago when my mom died that things kind of shifted into perspective for me. I no longer had disposable income to spend on shoes. I no longer had disposable income to spend on lunch every day. I had to pay rent and my phone bill and internet and buy groceries and things like that. And after getting that perspective, I was no longer mad at my mom because she did the best that she could in her situation. I remember right after she died, I was questioning where my inheritance was, as bad as it is to say. This video is gonna make me seem like super entitled, but anyway, I wasn't expecting $1 million, right? I didn't know what to expect, to be honest with you, but I was expecting a bit more than me inheriting to have to pay rent. But the thing I realized after getting a bit more level-headed was that my mom set me up better than I thought. Let me explain and kind of wrap this whole video together. At the end of the day, I live in Canada, and you could say we're the little brother to the States and we're not as good as them and everybody's moving to the States and nobody wants to move here. You could say all that, but here's the thing. Some people from other countries have to work for years and years just to get enough money to get a plane ticket to come here. Some people leave their relatives, come here to work, live like shit, with like a mattress on the floor, and they eat ramen for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then they send their money back home to help their family and stuff like that. My mom left her parents, her friends, and everybody she knew to come here to give me, a better life. Because of her sacrifice, I'm a Canadian citizen. My healthcare is free. I have a Canadian passport, which is ranked one of the 10 best passports in the world. Yes, that is actually a thing. And I'll leave a link down below for you to see where your country ranks and stuff like that. And on top of all that, we live in a free country. We're not run by a dictator. You can go wherever you want. You can say what you want to say. We're lucky to live here. You can say, oh, we have high taxes and this and that, but at the end of the day, people come here to give themselves a better life, and that's saying something, because people want to come here. If our country was terrible, nobody would want to come here. We don't have to worry about war. We don't have to worry about there not being enough food. We don't have to worry about there not being clean water. We have free education for kids. We have universities and colleges. We have it good compared to some other parts of the world. Our worries are whether or not our bagged milk is expired, or if we should have said sorry to that person on the internet that we were kind of rude to. We have employee rights, we have minimum wage, so people aren't getting paid like $3 an hour. And overall, I'd say we're pretty lucky to be where we are. Do we live in the best country in the world? No. Could it be better? Sure. But one thing I'll forever be grateful for is my mom making the decision to come to this country. And as always, thanks for watching.